Hello and welcome. It's the start of another Rainbow Open here at Marmoris Esports. My name is K-Wing, bringing you the action with Clementine. We're hopping in to USF Green versus Unknown in the Midnight Division. So much potential for both of these teams, so much excitement as we get ready to crown a new champion here in Season 3 of the Rainbow Open.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. We're finally up and running after a long and arduous off-season. So now, here we go. We're up and running. This is the first match of the Midnight Division, the Swiss bracket, to determine seeding of who gets to move on to the bracket and who stays behind. And how about you? Personally, if I was playing, I'd want to be moving on into the bracket.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but if I were these teams, I would simply move on into the bracket stage. I guess I'm just built different as we hop in. So much anticipation for these teams, so many faces, new and old, and so many different stories from both of these teams. We have USF Green, oops, it seems like we have lost you there, Clementine. Well, as we work to get
Uh-oh.
that, as we work to get back the there we
Oh,
go. As we work to get you back on screen, we've got two very different stories here. USF Green, that core has been together since 2021, and we've got this roster for them. You've got Commander Hoy on the DPS, as well as Gave FPS, Toast, and Tiger Lily on the support, as well as Uchiha Madara on the tank. And this is a pretty this is a somewhat cogent roster, at least when you look at the top half. I'm not sure about the BAP Lifeweaver support comp, but maybe I'm just a bit too doubting.
I don't think we'll see much of the BAP Lifeweaver comp. Seems like now main supports like to say that they are their favorite hero is Lifeweaver, and then they'll roll out on the Lucio if we see this comp.
He's just so cool, though, Clementine. He's just so effortlessly cool. But on the other end of that team that's been together for 3 years now, at least at its core, we have Unknown Origin. Now, I'd tell you their story, but, well, it's a touch unknown. That's a funny little joke for you, but you got Ghostbot on the Winston. Ghostbot on the Winston with Smurf, and once on the DPS line with Rick and L Squared rounding out the sports.
Now this is a comp that actually makes sense throughout it, so we might actually see them get to roll out on their favorite heroes. As I've seen this comp played with success before, you got some good old dive action going, some poke just to bait out resources from Smurf on the Widow. And then, just the funny Lucio guy. Like, everyone loves the funny Lucio guy.
Fair enough. We have seen a good amount of Lucio. I don't know if you'd see Lucio, especially with this comp, but I have seen variations on this comp played as early as today. And we've got our map set. Our first map going to be Busan for control, and then we're going to be running it down on Hybrid, Flashpoint, and then, if needed, Push and Escort. So 5 map series, first to 3. So you're in for quite an extravaganza if you're waiting here today. None of this first to 2 bullpucky. You're seeing this first to 3 action. I have a special place for first to 3 in my heart. First to 2, you gotta love it for places like Calling All Heroes for that group stage, but first to 3, you get to see so much more of these teams' motivation and their ability to push through getting knocked down on a map as we load in to the metal streets of Busan.
I headed downtown. This is interesting, as I tend to think of this one as more dive, just because you need a way to contest the hit scan on the high grounds. But as we are seeing more dive come out from Unknown Origin with that Tracer Far. No, we are on Sanctuary. We got baited.
We're going into the Sanctuary. Farah coming out from Commander on the side of Unknown Origin as we're waiting for this to really kick off in earnest. As I'm having a little bit of a pause here, I can't really see much on my screen. Can you take it over for me, Clementine?
As we are we lost. All right, so it looks. I will then just talk about what's going on there. So normally, with the 2 comps, one I believe I saw Sig, Bap, Lucio, and then Soldier Widow. So that's gonna play much more pokey, try and get out resources. Yeah. Oh, and we are back in. As we are seeing a big ol' swap come out from Unknown Origin as they are swapping over to the Winston.
Yeah, it looks like we had something big from Smurf on the side of Unknown Origin at 67%. Highest ult charge in the lobby. Definitely hit some heads in the early fight. Looking for some more. Avara waiting for that shoulder grapefruit to peek right around the corner. Looking for the angles. Not even seeing much of anything of this big rotation. And Uchimadara looking to jump right on top of the Zenyatta. Jump down the barrier. But Slick Strike gonna get hit by the Pharah as the retreat comes through. Now Gnome looking for a target, sees the Mercy, but just can't hit these Hyper Spears to take them down. Resurrection comes in, that's a bold one. Smurf gonna get taken out by Flan. L squared gone, an Unknown Origin. Some great Pharah play. Gonna seal the deal, and they'll tap this point, 49-0.
Oh yeah, it's just Uchiha did such a great job baiting out resources and funneling L squared and Split that into the Pharah's LOS, already at about half health. Now it takes his one damage boosted rock to clean it, and then just Widow headshot.
Widow headshot indeed. Oh, that was gonna be a daring resurrect from Tiger Lily, and it's a hit right in the body from Smurf. 2 shots and 2 kills onto these Unknown Origin players. They're just gonna get burst down. Smurf with a 3-piece to seal it back, 49 and counting.
Oh yeah, it appears that USF Green is adapting to the Winston Fire Tracer dive by swapping over to Queen. Just honestly gives more sustain, allowed to go through, survive through the dive, and just more burst damage, and a lot more of a threat to the Winston. So that should slow Uchiha down and stop him from just getting out so many resources.
That's really that shotgun that's going to be so deadly to the Winston. It's just going to be jumping into a Junker Queen that can use that Gracie, use the knife to keep you right where she wants you. And now once with that Nano Visor is going to take down the Barrage and Pharah, looking for the Winston. Has a Primal Raging Winston in their face, says, hey Anna, I brought a treat for you. It's a Primal Raging Winston as Flan going to take out once. And close to 99, but no cigar, as some stalls gonna come in from this Junker Queen, bring them up that crucial 99%.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a massive fight win for Unknown Origin, because I mean, not only did it keep the round alive, but USF Green also dumped so many ults into that. That was what, Nano Visor and Transcendence? Like, you're not happy with that if you're USF Green, even despite them swapping to Lucio.
Oh, you can't be happy at all, but you only need one fight for USF Green, so one solid rampage from this Junker Queen, if they can draw out the Suzu, could send it there, but the Kitsune Rush is gonna be what's on the table for Unknown Origin. So push in Unknown Origin, they jump right on top of Smurf, and are gonna get taken down. There goes the rampage, and it's nothing! Big old 0, zip, nada. Commander gonna get resurrected by Tiger Lily, and now the point has flipped over to Unknown Origin, but the question is, for how long is Gave FPS gonna get taken down? Commander Hoyt in a bit of trouble. The Junker Queen dishing out the damage, that DOT that she's so incredibly annoying to deal with. As now USF Green dealing with a lot of stragglers, but they're dealing with it fairly well. As Commander Hoyt goes down, it looks like Unknown Origin are planting their flag here. They're seeing how long they can keep this point in their favor. They're not really losing anything by keeping this fight, as Ichibadara are going to actually go off the map, it seems. There's some kind of self-damage. In a bit of trouble is USF Green. It's just the Mercy and the Tracer, and the Tracer now the only one left as the scrappy fight turns sour for USF Green, unable to finish off the stragglers. Will net them that first loss.
Yeah, their ult economy just, USF's ult economy just kind of tanked after that Kitsune Rush. Like, they only built the Pulse Bomb, and Pulse Bomb is just not going to be enough when one side
Stay close to me and I'll keep you safe.
that rush. Like, by the end of there, Noam already had another Kitsune Rush. Or, sorry, another Rampage. As yet, it looks like we are on downtown, and like I predicted, we are seeing some Winston.
Yeah, seeing that Winston come out, really trying to contest these players on the high ground, but I'm worried for USF Green. I'm worried to see this support line, the Lucio. You don't generally see that unless you're looking for almost a really quick style rush. The days of the 6-man are not exactly a current one. The Ana Brig is more of the support line you see. As the engage is starting to come through, Gabe FPS gonna get taken down on the side from Smurf from Unknown Origin. L squared in a bit of trouble, and Gnome gonna get focused down, but so does Uchichi Madara on the side of USF Green. L squared just free to shoot. Gonna run into some trouble with that Echo, and the Tracer just jumping on top of that Ana. But L squared stays strong, as do the rest of Unknown Origin. They squeeze USF Green off this point.
Honestly, I know you had your doubts about it, but I am kind of a fan of the Lucio Kiri here, as there's not really long sightlines for Ana Brig to take advantage of, so you can just run on top of them and then blow them up. As Brig cannot peel away 5 people jumping on the backline at once. That's where Cass comes in, and we will see how Unknown adapts to that.
Yeah, and now in comes the copy from the Echo. It's gonna be Tiger Lily taken out early by the Winston. There goes the other Winston. It's Winston Mania in here, but Unknown Origin so far coming out on top. The Nano going in onto the Brig a bit late in the fight, looking to really confirm these kills, as we know that USF Green are going to be staggering into last. Man, Slick Strike goes down. There goes Pulse Bomb in from both Tracers, but it will be Unknown Origin coming out on top.
I mean, it just looks like that Commander Huey just did not get the value with the duplicate that was required, and L squared the Nano just was perfectly timed and just allowed them to cleave through everybody and just win the fight.
Kitsune Rush thrown in right on top of Gnome with the Primal Rage. Throwing it in, trying to get Tiger Lily on the Lucio, jumping up and down. That makes him a really easy target for any hit scan characters. That pencil jump, Uchichi Madara takes out Slick Strike again. That backline so vulnerable to dive. And now L squared completely without protection, without their Brig. And that's just gonna be a clean sweep for USF Green.
Like I said, just run Lucio Kiri and just run on top of the Ana Brig, as man, the Smurf is just, like, he's doing his best to try and peel everyone off with just the poking out resources. Both Gabe swapping from Tracer over to Cass. You now have someone that can match him.
The Cass v Cass is going to be fun. I'm really interested to see if Smurf can answer Gabe FPS, or if it's going to be a Gabe FPS dominated time. Deadeye is aggressive, and Smurf going to be punished for it immediately. That Echo not going to let that happen in the open flan, though. Going down, using that Kiriko early is not fun. L squared gone. These supports are such a limited commodity in this match so far. As Madara getting booped away. Beat out from Tiger Lily fairly late in the fight. We'll see if it can turn it around for USF Green. Staggering in, a lot of ults invested. And they do trade out the break for the Lucio. Is it gonna be enough? As copy onto the Winston, not really charging up as much ult as it might want. They're going to get that kill onto L squared, and I stand corrected as USF Green. They're gonna make it interesting. 99 to 51, or 100 to 51 now. We're going to round 3.
Yeah, it's just, they built up their ults, and that was what? High Noon, Dupe, Primal, and a Sound Barrier? Like, you just can't compete with that. Especially as Primal is a very good ult. Beat is a fight winner. Dupe is a fight winner, and then High Noon with a rework to it as you start to speed up throughout it, it's now much better at just confirming kills, even though that High Noon is just to stop people from touching. But still, hey, ult's an ult. Because now we are headed over to the Rush Busan map, so we will see how this turns out, because, well, let's just say Commander Huey, big fan of Rush comps. Loves the Mei, and if you like Mei, you like Rush.
That's true. Difference here between the Junker Queen and the Ramatra composition, Unknown Origin, looking for a very fast comp, but you can't be very fast when you're dead. Gabe FPS with a massive headshot. Flan, though, gonna get taken out. That's the main pillar of healing for this Junker Queen composition. Now caught off the point. They're gonna be having to rush into the Ramatra, and that is not a position you want to put yourself in when Cap starts coming through. They're gonna have to drop down. Brawl on this point. Slick Strike taken down. Gabe is well gone. And Smurf landing shot upon shot. Taken down, nearly taken out Tiger Lily. And just one after another, they come before Smurf. And they doth get shot in the face.
Oh, yeah. No, if USF Green wants to keep running the Ramatra comp, which can work into the Junker Queen, they have Commander Hui has to hit the wall and has to split somebody off because you cannot kill Queen in a brawl as Ram. And it's just going to be too much damage coming out from Unknown Origin, too much healing from coming out from L squared. So we will see.
Early Immortality Field out from Flan as the Ramatra is going to be first down. Gnome taking down Snapper. It's a 4v4. No tanks allowed. Gabe FPS really showing off. Even making Gnome laugh a touch as it's going to be USF Green taking the point in a pretty convincing fashion.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's what happened first fight was Flan just got walked on and they solved that problem. As he did not there, and they won.
Blizzard thrown in very aggressively, catches everyone there in a bit of a catch-22. Big Deadeye, and Gabe FPS seals it off as Beat and Window comes in. USF Green, they'll get the win for that fight, but I ask you now, Clementine, at what cost?
I don't know if that's worth it. Like, if you're Unknown Origin, you're happy with that because you lose. But if one team does High Noon, Blizzard, Window, and Beat, and you only drop a Rampage and Blizzard, you lose that every single fight, every single time, and you are completely fine with that, as that was a huge overinvestment.
Oh, and once lands the headshot onto Flan, that's no Immortality Field. They're going to use the Annihilation. Beat all thrown in. Everything but the kitchen sink from Unknown Origin, and they'll win the fight. But goodness gracious me, Clementine, that's a touch much.
Oh yeah, God, just these ult usages, they're just, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, all that matters is the fight win, but you can't be making your economy look like the 1930s. This is just not conducive to winning.
No, and I mean, yeah, winning the fight's great, but you gotta be thinking about the fight after that, Clementine, as now Gnome is right on top of Flan. Flan making like a bunny, hopping up and down, just waiting, but once is gonna clean up the rest of the team with the Blizzard. And you know, they did have those two ults coming up in a pretty economical fight from Unknown Origin. You're kind of happy.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of had to be an economical fight. Like they just had nothing to spend. As
Well,
they do have
had
that Rampage online, and USF Green has nothing.
Oh,
they
no.
almost have a window, but
oh, Jimmy getting drawn out with the wall. That's the Immortality Field drawn out, and it's a massive Rampage. Unknown Origin, it's Flan again gonna get taken down by the Rampage and Junker Queen. And Madara just trying to trigger OT. Gonna get the foot on the point, but it'll only be the foot, as it'll be Unknown Origin taking a stunning victory against USF Green.
yeah, it's a USF Green. They just didn't know how to manage their ultimates on that final round, and to be honest, in like the rush mirror, it all just comes down to ultimates. Like, there's only so much fight planning and mechanical skill when it comes to the engages. You're just going to see two groups of 5 run at each other, and whichever team coordinates more, especially coordinates those ultimates more, is going to end up winning 95% of the time, I would say. And again, USF Green, they're like, yeah, so we're going to just drop 4 ults and win the fight, and then we're going to lose the next fight because we don't have any ults, and then we're just back at square one. And then Unknown Origin just built the second set of ultimates faster.
That they do, and when it comes down to ult economy, winning a fight with 4 ultimates, it really is only beneficial if that is the last fight in the round. Because if you win a fight with 4 ults in the last round, it means you won the ult economy. Plain and simple, it means that you did it. Congratulations, you won the ult economy. But if you are winning a fight with 4 ultimates, you have to hope for an equal investment out of your opponent. Because we saw exactly what happened when USF invested a touch of an overkill. And Unknown Origin, they were able to even overinvest themselves, but just slightly less when they had 2 ults coming up with that Blizzard and that Rampage. We criticized it in the moment, but they were able to turn and start rotating those ultimates. Use those 2 ultimates to charge up a few more, use those 3 ultimates to build up the other 2, and they started rotating them fairly effectively. It got them those 3 fights in a row, and it got them the map win.
Especially with how quickly Mei and Queen can both build up their ultimates, as Mei just outputs so much damage, so much cleave damage with that primary fire, and honestly, surprisingly good poke. And then Queen can just chain together axe swings, as everyone is going to be somewhat grouped up, so you can just get those 2 or 3 man axes, and then all of a sudden it's on a 2-second cooldown. And then Tiger Lily just didn't build the beat fast enough, which is always a little bit unfortunate. But I mean, it happens to the best of us.
It sure does. And that's the thing with this first to 3.
I was saying, they just couldn't stop Flan from just getting ran down, and that's, you can't be losing your BAP like that to start half the fights. It's just not gonna end well.
No, it really isn't. And as we look forward now, USF Green with map selection and a touch of a disadvantage going into, if we end up with a long series, USF Green is going to be staring down the barrel of Unknown Origin having map choice for a theoretical map 5 if we go down the path of each team winning their successive map picks. You're gonna have a bit of trouble for USF Green. But we're not at that map 5 point yet, and we have seen so many matches turned around by one team wins control and the other team wins everything else, as we go to where else but the one, the only Kings Row for Hybrid. The day that Overwatch players have the option of going Kings Row and don't go Kings Row, it will be the day that I die.
I mean, sometimes Kings Row ain't the best. Like, Kings Row is a great map and all, but sometimes, like, it can just be a slog to get through depending on what comps everyone is running. You know, you said 5 points, especially with Unknown Origin. They do have advantage with map 1, but Control, it's a silly little game mode, and is always not always indicative of how the match is going to go. Is, I would say every Control map has at least one sub-map on it where you can pull out the most obscene cheese comp and just win it.
That's true.
And not a lot of other maps are like that. Like, Flashpoint's the closest to that, but then with the ults not resetting, it tends to not be worth it to go for a cheese comp just for 1 point. As it looks like USF Green is rolling out on that Ryan May, Bap, Lucio, and Unknown Origin is taking that dive, just setting up on the high ground, setting up kill boxes, and then just collapsing in, but they don't have anybody to isolate here.
No, they really don't. They're going to be trying, I suppose, to jump onto Flan, and they've been doing fairly well thus far, but it's going to be very tough. Early Immortality Field out from Flan, already feeling the pressure as that is going to get burst down. Now the Ana on the low ground, which is an interesting choice. You usually want to set that Ana up on high ground, but then she might get run over like she is right now. A big charge up from Gnome. Whoa there! There goes the anti-nade out of L squared, and that is an unbelievable play as Unknown Origin takes the fight win.
Yeah, like there you got to keep your Ana rotating, moving on constantly just to avoid from being ran on, and that's why you're seeing Unknown Origin opt to run the Lucio over the Ana. It worked perfectly. You just kited the the initial rush in from USF Green, hit the ante, and then Gnome cleans up.
And that's another massive anti-nade. It draws out the immortality field, and it's still not done. The resources drawn out, Elves Squared, has just landed 2 anti-nades that have sealed the fight. How insane out of this Ana player.
Especially in the right, like, if I am Moderici, you gotta be blocking those, as we are seeing Commander Hui choose to swap over to the Echo, actually, and we're seeing Kiri come out.
So-called free thinkers when they see one Ana doing well. Winston Tracer Echo. I want that Ana's head on a platter. Oh my goodness, this is the most I hate you else. This is the most like angry letter you can get as an Ana, and once it's still gonna start cleaning up, taking out Flan. Once you turn all your attention to the Ana, they're gonna have some trouble. There goes the Nano onto Gnome, taking out the Echo in the sky. And it's just curtains for USF Green. What a turnaround.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get when you pick the better comp to start out with, is you have the liberty of starting with ults. As now we'll see USF Green go through. Hopefully they can build some soon, as Unknown Origin is coming up on some more here.
Coming up on so much more. They do get the pick onto L Squared finally, but now you have to deal with this Primal Rage out of Gnome, who's going to be able to sustain regardless. Tiger Lily going to go down. It's now Flan, your only support for USF Green. A little bit of a hello there from Gnome, and just cleaning up. It's even now for Unknown Origin USF Green, but once looking daring to make that not the case. Cleans up. A minute left on the clock for USF Green. They have to go back to the drawing board. They're coming up on ults though, Clementine.
Yeah, so you can't swap now, like the comp. Push any advantage you can get, while Unknown Origin does, is now that's flipping.
Yeah, now as you walk into this potentially last fight territory for USF Green, you got the beat. You need a longer fight to charge up these 4 ultimates that are all 80% plus. And this beat from Slicky is going to be so important, but they do get the early pick onto Gnome. Beat now even more important. They might not even need it, as it's just going to be Madara running through the back line like a spear, as Gabe cleaning up the rest. And USF Green, it took them a while. They do cap point A.
Yeah, I mean, you just lose your Winston that early. Winston, you're like, yes, Gnome isn't going to do a lot of stuff with Gem Arter, but he can just be a body to prevent Gnome from just walking straight forward and using that bubble to cut off heals, or even just pressure USF Green's own backline.
Anti-nade out is gonna get one, but that's the big thing with the Kiriko, is it counters out those nades. Has been so problematic. And Commander Koi gonna go down. It's a big pick for Unknown Origin. USF Green gonna be pushed back into spawn as Unknown Origin. They're holding this archway, and it's so difficult to break through, especially with only 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, it's now going through, but you have to go somewhere now. Rush does come through.
Ooh. Aggressive TP from Flan, jumping in on top to throw that Suzu. Oh, into a small, tight corner there, as USF Green gonna pick up some kills. And there goes the Primal Rage and Winston. Pulse Bomb thrown in onto the Primal Rage and Winston, which is gonna be an interesting one. Slick Strike gonna take down Flan. USF Green have their legs taken out from under them, but will it be enough for it to stop for USF Green? They're just in a bit of trouble. Unknown Origin pulling back.
Yeah, and Slick Strike has to hit a better beat there, to be frank. The beat came in a little too late, and it only hit Gnome and himself. And you just like you can't be doing that. But kind of got a little bit of a benefit there, as USF Green just kept dumping ults into the fight they should have already won. It's the same problem as Busan.
Nano onto the members onto Gnome. Not charging up any ult from that, just really feeding into these support ults for USF Green. In fact, it's going to be once going down. It's going to be Madara catching that first pick for USF Green. Instead of the Nano, now that Primal Rage Zone out for Gnome. And it feels unfortunate there for Unknown Origin. So many ults, but if they're not as effective as the neutral play out of USF Green, then what's the point, I ask, Clem?
It was a great beat came out from Tiger Lily. She just made sure to help the team sustain through the initial burst damage of the Nano Winston jump, and then just beautiful amp speed to just get out of there.
USF
And then
Green
just went
has
through
the
and got-
opportunity. Gave up, yes, it's the double tracer moment. Well, only the one tracer now, going to eventually end off. And just as we jump there, Tiger Lily gonna get taken out. Unknown Origin looking to make a stop here. Slaky Strike gonna go down. Oh, Smurf close to this Deadeye, 98% and climbing. It's gonna be Madara so close. Uses the primal, knocks Smurf into the corner, and barely able to recover is USF Green. Able to stay off the feet for just a touch longer. They'll push into point C. This is looking good for them.
Yeah,
Wait.
they got a point. Maybe don't know if they needed that primal, but hey, that's a fight they had to win. As you do not want to have to try and hold point B on King's Row, especially with how far back you're going to spawn on defense, where you're giving yourself only one fight to lose in the next round. So honestly, maybe worth it, especially if we're going to be swapping over to the Sigma.
Yeah, especially displacing Smurf. If they track that Deadeye, getting Smurf out of the fight, 100% worth it there, as this Deadeye could have been devastating onto an overtime cart push, and especially that overtime cart push, that was a must-win fight. Vanderhoy in a bit of trouble. Gnome gonna chase them down once, chasing down the other Tracer. Great individual picks out of Unknown Origin to just push back USF Green. They've got one fight left, and the staggers onto Flan and Madara are devastated.
You gotta wonder if it might have been better for them to just die on point. As USF Green, like, they have the mechanics, like, they're playing well, it's just a bunch of small mistakes that are adding up.
Yeah, the small mistakes can be deadly. Unknown Origin have a lot of ults on the burner. USF Green, they're looking for something big, and they're looking for something early, and they need it now. Big sleep onto Hoy, and it's gonna be D-Macked out of this copied shoot. Deadeye from Smurf, not going to land onto a soul. Can it actually hit Madara there? No, no one caught up. It's gonna be the Pulse Bomb onto Slicky as the beat doesn't really do a lot. Nano, Unknown Origin, their entire ultimate treasure chest just being blown right here. They cannot let this fight go on, but they do yet, and it's not looking good. Just the onto the flux has to come in. Oh no.
Did we see
Oh, it's the
9?
reverse Sig 9. The reverse Sig 9.
Unfortunate. It's
The
rough there.
ult.
Yeah, oof. It's rough there for same because, like, you have to be, especially playing in Anis, you have to be worried about the sleep, so you just paying too much attention to that, not enough to the point. But unfortunately, it's not an ultimate based game, it's an objective based game, and if you don't touch, you lose.
That you do,
So,
but a respectable push out of USF Green, as deep into point 2, you've got multiple places where you can put together a solid defense. I'm talking early archway point B, I'm talking deep into point B. Those are places where you can drain clock for as long as you want, and it's going to be very difficult, I think, for Unknown Origin to push through the way that USF Green did. I mean, it was scrappy, but in the end, how they did it doesn't matter. The end result is still the same. 49.4 meters into point B is pretty impressive.
Okay, just getting to that second corner on King's Row is just so, on point C is just so important, as that first corner is kind of really free to put in to cap a point. And then, I mean, ideally USF Green does get it farther, but that's not a bad push, as full capping on King's Row is not the easiest, especially with how the game's played right now.
No, it's not. Gabe on the high ground for USF Green, looking for these early picks, looking for some early pressure. Gnome on to the Ramatra. I love this pick. I love the brawl pressure that it's going to bring. It's just running through Smurf, though. Going to take him out by Command High on the rotation. Slick down, and this Tracer not going to be able to do much to give FPS. Going to force him off high ground. Once in a lot of a good position. Now just on the high ground, waiting to push right through, but L squared is gone, and that's going to be a big signal for Unknown Origin to get out of there. Oh, can they find Flan? No, Flan's going to get out and escape with their lives once gone, and despite hemorrhaging people, Gnome's still pushing in. They might get cut off here, but they're still staying alive. They're really not getting punished.
No, I mean, it's hard to push into Ram, especially in Nemesis form, is just so tanky. And you know L squared's gonna be coming back soon as attacker spawn is right there. What's born there is once did force Gabe off. Take him a while to rotate back.
Yeah, it is going to take a while for that rotation to come back in. 2.5 minutes on the clock for that one fight. Was definitely a scrappy fight. Nemesis form pop, basically just a hold right click. Gnome does have the Annihilation on deck, but a big push in from Madara on the Diva. Gonna knock Manny off the high ground. Pulse bomb in from once. Won't get anything in the kill feed there. Gabe FPS looking for that Tracer. Vanderhoy in the back line. There goes the Annihilation out of Gnome. Diva bomb thrown in. It's gonna take out Annihilation taking out Madara. Gnome really showing up in the kill feed, getting a 3-piece in the end, and the Boostio I think might have been a misclick on the Nano, but we're gonna call it an intimidation ploy.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just miss Nano, especially Lucio's just kind of jumping around, jumps in front of you right as you double tap that Q to confirm the target. And there's, I mean, Annihilation's just such a good point, or an ult to capture those points.
It's an incredibly good one as Madara using a very aggressive ultimate, and oh my gosh. Oh, he's being run down in the streets of Baltimore. His Gnome just completely taken down, separated, and taken down. Gnome now switching onto the Zarya. I've seen some good Zarya play today, so I believe that Gnome can bring on the Thunder, bring up this charge. It's going to be a bit of a time to build up those Smurf. Having the Deadeye might be able to push through. Having this Vortex thrown out. And there goes the engage from Madara and USF Green. Big stick, but the Immortality Field is there to keep it alive for USF Green. A big play from Flan. Deadeye through. That's a lot of skulls it's going to land onto Flan. And those ults will get them something, but it was quite an investment in the end.
Yeah, it looks like Zarya's just allowing them to slow down USF Green's just ability to walk. As from what we've seen from them, they just really like to put the pedal down to the metal and just go forward, aggressively take space, force cooldowns that way. As Zarya, stop that, because you do not want to let a Zarya get full charge, or even high charge, without getting her low and forcing her to back.
Now Flan in a bit of trouble. Throws to throw out that Immortality Field early. Madara hit by the anti-nade. That's a triple on the anti, and just puts him in so much trouble. Amp comes out from Flan. Trying to keep going. Down one is USF Green. They're trying to even this up. Looking to flip the script a touch. They're really lost in the sauce here as Slicky gonna get taken down early. Big wall to section off the rest of Unknown Origin. Blizzard thrown in very late in the game. Nano onto the Zarya, who's gonna stay alive, but the Blizzard was so incredibly massive. There's nothing that Unknown Origin can do. That was a big investment for not much in the end.
Yeah, this just went through. Unknown Origin did successfully flip the map, I think 3 times there. I don't know. I lost track of who was pushing and who was defending at some point. Yeah, they went to flip the map and then they just didn't capitalize on the opportunity they gave themselves.
No, and it was very tough with that Blizzard there. There wasn't a lot of ability to capitalize. Now Slick Strike in a bit of trouble. Smurf looking for something. Oh, it's Strike gonna get taken down. And there goes Smurf as well. USF Green landing another massive fight win that they need. And now almost in last fight territory is Unknown Origin, especially if that Ana gets staggered out. They're in some trouble.
Oh yeah, now as for territory, with your only ultimate being that Deadeye, like yes, Deadeye can slow down Annihilation, but only by so much, especially with Flan, and she's building up to that Amp Matrix now.
Yeah, the Amp Matrix is going to be right there, and especially with the Immortality Field, there goes the Deadeye early, and it's just going to be Madara taking down Gnome. The Deadeye, it's not going to land onto a soul, not at least in the kill feed, and there goes the Engage with the Nemesis form, and Square taking a right hook to the jaw, and that's going to be it for Unknown Origin. The staggers may come in the end, but once is going to be taken down very quickly. The Lucio, the last remaining stagger there. It's going to be the beat on two, actually three there for Unknown Origin. USF Green cannot afford to break rank, break formation. They need to hold on if they want to take a decisive lead in the series. Gnome going to take a massive punch onto Tiger Lily to take her out. Immortality Field out and gone. And USF Green, they have to throw out the Blizzard. And that's something they never thought they'd have to do here. Big Blizzard on to many. It looks like two in the end, but once is going to take down Commander Hui. Now in a bit of trouble. Stick onto Madara. Once might have just turned this fight around. Unknown Origin. It ain't over till the fat lady sings, and it looks like she has not warmed up her pipes.
Yeah, Commander Huey tried their best with just a massive wall to separate Gnome, and then farming that Blizzard up, doing it freezing too. But just Unknown Origin was just playing too fast. It didn't matter. They just kept coming back, and they just got the picks they needed. Now we're headed into third.
And they have now the Doomfist with the ultimate charged up. We'll have to see how Gnome wants to use it. It looks like going to use it as a tool to engage right on top. Just burst through the wall. Nothing gonna seal them through. Gonna just throw both supports through. Commander Hui get taken down with a headshot, and Smurf gets taken down as well. The Cassidy just dishing out the damage. Will get taken down in the end, but Beat thrown out. 3 ults out from USF Green. It's a big investment from them, but they're still not coming out on top. There's nothing else they can do. Once we're going to get taken down, Gabe FPS, the last bastion of defense here, but it might just be the only one they need. Up into the air, can it land anything? Unknown Origin looking for Gabe, but they might not have it. They're gonna have to dash away. One more fight for them, but what a hero effort from Gabe.
You know, I'll say I'm a little bit disappointed. Commander Huey tried to do some dishonest Overwatch, as there used to be a bug going on where if you drop a wall right on the center of Doom ult, you would send Doom under the map, killing him. But that has been patched out.
It looks like it has, but Smurf gonna take out Gabe early. That's no Bob on the field. Pulse Bomb out. Nothing on the kill feed, but L squared. Looks like Commander Hui doesn't need anything there. Bob gonna be thrown out onto the point. Gonna put in so much damage, but a great boop sends Bob away from the point, but it might not be enough. Flan gonna go down early. Slick Strike holding on, waiting for some respawn, some reinforcements to come in. Tiger Lily gonna go down. No supports for USF Green. Commander Hui gone as well. It's the Lucio and the Doomfist, the deadly dynamic duo, playing it for Unknown Origin. Pulse Bomb thrown in the back, lands onto Madara. Smurf will go down. Just a few remaining for both of these teams. Gonna be fighting to the last person possible, but in the end, Unknown Origin wrests victory from the jaws of defeat. And now 2-0, they are on match point, looking red hot, going in to our third and potentially final match.
Yeah, I said like USF Green, they like to play so aggressive, but they just can't keep up with Unknown Origin's super high tempo gameplay, especially when Unknown Origin decides to run more divey comps, as they're just kind of pressing the W key and coming in from all different angles and then going out, then back in, out, in, out, in. And USF Green's frankly just going in, and they don't live long enough to come out.
I was very surprised at the Doomfist pick. I'm surprised that they chose to stick with it. It was more of a pick of necessity of the Doomfist can get back the fastest. I have to pick the Doom, but they stuck with it into point C, and I thought it would be, pun intended, a bit of doom for Unknown Origin there, as they ended up doing incredibly successfully, really disrupting that backline. It seemed like they could never get set up before this Doomfist was coming in from the stratosphere using a bunch of movement techs. It was an incredible feat to watch, and it's why Unknown Origin is currently up 2-0. And you have to be excited for them, because for a team like this, for Unknown Origin, they have to want to make a good impression for Season 3. They have to want to really get the 3-0, to put their foot down and say, we are one of the stronger teams in this division. We are going to be the Monarchs of the Midnight Division, so you better be warned. But before we see if they can crown themselves kings of the division in Week 1, we'll have to get a quick little break in, so don't go anywhere. Don't change the Twitch channel. We'll be right back after a few short moments. We'll see you then. And we've had quite the dominant series thus far. From unknown origin, currently up 2-0. We're back with the Rainbow Open from our Morris Esports. Welcome back. Still K-Wing here with still Clementine. And so far, it's been just one step ahead for unknown origin.
Yes, they're just like I said before, they're playing at just frankly a much higher tempo, way more corny than USF Green. So despite USF Green, their core sticking around for longer, the key word there is their core. It looks like they do have some people going in and out every year. As what happens with collegiate versus unknown origin is kind of like that 5 stack of friends just going through and just frankly playing more coordinated, which allows them to again play at a higher tempo and just go in and out more often. They're using their ultimates better in a more coordinated fashion, and that's frankly just what you want to see from a team.
It's exactly what you want to see from this team, and well, it's what they've been showing us in spades. They've been showing incredible play, especially on that support lineup. You don't see a lot of big pop-off plays from the supports nowadays, but we've seen some really incredible stuff come out of the support line of unknown origin. I'm talking, of course, about L Squared. She's been incredible on the Ana thus far, and Slick Strike as well has been pretty solid on this Licio. We are, of course, now going to Suravasa, as we all know, the only Flashpoint map if you have taste.
Yeah, frankly, I'm gonna have to agree with that. The center point's boring, and the 2 other points are frankly just not fun. Versus Suravasa, you get more variety with the points, how they're set up, and it's just frankly also a better map to look at.
What, you don't like rusted metal? Well, we're bringing the rusted metal to you as Gnome rolling out on the Junker Queen. I like this choice out of Gnome. I like the Junker Queen composition with Alicio. They're playing the Brawl on this versus a bit of dive from USF Green with the Venture. The high burst potential hero out from Commander Hui. Already taking a lot of damage. Gonna have to burrow beneath the ground for that and get out alive, as now, oh, Commander Hui in some trouble, able to dash away, but now gonna get run over by this Junker Queen comp, now going to participate in that dive, jump right on top of Smurf. It's everyone else gonna be cleaned up by this Junker Queen and the Pharah.
Yeah, once again, Unknown Origin just played too fast and didn't give USF Green time to set up their dive. As doesn't matter if you set up a dive if the other team's already on top of you. And tends to not be good for the dive team.
No, it really isn't. Now the dive team gonna have to try and jump in to a Junker Queen against and a Pharah. It's gonna be incredibly tough, as there goes the speed from Tiger Lily. That's the big old do charge out of USF Green, but they're gonna lose game immediately. On goes down. Well, no, gonna stay alive and take out Slick Strike. And, well, not going to be long to this world. L Squared gonna take that high ground from them. Pharah once in a bit of trouble. Unknown Origin charging up a lot of these ultimates. It's gonna be Smurf going down. Hui in a bit of trouble, but Unknown Origin still hanging on to this point. USF Green to be looking for a contest soon.
Yeah, it's just going to, again, just, especially on Flashpoint, it's so important to be the ones controlling the tempo, and Unknown Origin's just doing that with that higher tempo gameplay, and USF Green, the Winston comp is just not going to be enough to slow it down.
There goes the barrage, not going to land onto a soul in there. Unknown Origin in a bit of trouble, but Gnome ready to wench them out of it, just sitting on that center of the point, putting the pressure onto the Lucio. There goes the Carnage, going on to the Winston, now going to absolutely burst them down with the Deadeye. And now, oh, we're cutting away. What's happening on the point? Smurf is going to take out Madara. Smurf's going to get taken out, but no one wins in the end. Unknown Origin will move on with Flashpoint 1.
I mean, he tried his best with that Primal. I believe he got, like, what, 2 there and then finished up Smurf afterwards. But it's just not enough, as Unknown Origin had that Barrage, which didn't get the kills, but it forced resources, and then Rampage, and then finally High Noon to just finish it off. It was too much for USF Green.
It was too much, and they built up those ults incredibly quickly. Now moving on to this next flashpoint, a big jump in from Madara. Tiger Lily gonna get so low. Beat has to come out just to keep this tank up and alive with the aggression they're putting out. Unknown Origin throws in the Kitsune Rush, and they're just gonna zone away. Dave FPS gonna be caught out. Now Tiger Lily trying to just get away from this Lucio, and it's gonna be Smurf taking them down. And that little bit of point control that they had just immediately snatched away. It's the point presence that USF Green don't have compared to the Jungle Queen.
And it's not just that, it's again like USF Green, they took the initiative there on the jump, but they just didn't follow it up with anything. As Unknown Origin did get the first pick, and then the second, and then the 4th, 5th, and 6th. It was just too much. Since they're controlling the tempo, they're also just building ults so much faster.
Oh, and the hit on the Flan nearly goes off. Gnome has the Rampage, but won't even need it. As there goes both the supports. Gnome taking a 3-piece and looking for more to add to the combo meal that they're putting together. It's going to be Smurf cleaning up. Unknown Origin looking dominant.
And here now they're just doing such a good job of splitting up USF Green, which is what you need to do against Mori or Lucio. As if they allow USF Green to play stacked up, USF Green will win, as it will just be so much healing output from Flan.
Yeah, and now with one fight left, USF Green is going into a massive ult disadvantage, but they do find the Cassidy, a big hack coming out from the now Sombra of Gabe, and it's gonna be enough to snowball into a fight win. USF Green are not out of this point just yet. They're also gonna clean up Gnome with a bit of a stagger.
Yeah, which is always a good thing. Especially stacking tank and on Flashpoint, as that might buy you just enough percentage in order to win. The point is, Flashpoint's all about how many fights you can even possibly take.
Yeah, USF Green, they have to be winning a few fights in a row now. You're talking 2 fights in a row, realistically. And against against Gnome, you're gonna be in some trouble. Gabe gonna get found out. Oh, Tiger Lily in some trouble too. Not the tactical crouch out of Gnome. And now just taking position on point. Elsewhere, though, gonna go down, but the Kiriko's traded. Flan goes down in the end, and that's just gonna be this deal sealed. As Madara pulling out the Primal Rage again. Well, getting 2 picks off of it. This might not be over, as the Rampage gonna go through, gonna land onto 2 of USF Green. And there goes Gnome. EMP thrown in. It's landing onto Gnome, but that might just be what they need. Beat thrown in to keep Unknown Origin alive. Slinky Strike gonna get taken down. Pulse Bomb thrown in. Beat out from Tiger Lily. These teams are throwing everything they've got onto this one point. Do they even know that there's at least 2 more points in? A big melee. Tiger Lily gonna go down. And it looks like Unknown Origin able to seal the deal. Kitsune Rush thrown in from Flan. It's gonna be devastating. As you maintain the Pulse Bomb, you're close to the Kitsune Rush for Unknown Origin. This ult economy is in shambles for USF Green.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that Kitsune Rush, but that entire fight was kind of just over before it started once Gabe fell, as USF Green was setting up and prepared for to win using an early EMP, and they just didn't get it as Gabe got scattered, which if you're planning on winning a fight with an initiative EMP, you gotta play more careful as Sandra.
That you have to. And now the Winston in a bit of trouble with that Pulse Bomb thrown in from once. But no kills in the kill feed just yet off of it. Puts in a lot of pressure onto Madara. Flan gonna get taken down. It's the Lucio plays. and now it's going to be the Winston in so much trouble. No support there to keep them alive. There you go, Tiger Lily taken down as well. An unknown origin capture the point again. I'm scared for him.
Yeah, like, yeah, we're getting close to another EMP, but I don't know if it's worth it to stay somber. Like, you're just not doing enough in the neutral. Just not enough damage to burst people down, not enough sustainability to survive. Like, just, I would like to see, honestly, even something more out of the ordinary, like a Reaper swap. Just to enable more of that grouped up playstyle.
The Reaper swap could be good, but one's gonna go down. Flan hits that good shot, but it's an everyone caught up in the rampage. That's just over for USF Green. They do eventually get the cleanse off, but it's just too late. Clem, it's just too little, too late.
And now I mean, they have a big ult advantage here, but like, I mean, they don't know if it's gonna matter because they even had second beat on the previous point and they still lost the fight.
Yeah, but it's hope for them.
Ooh.
But that hope might just be dash on the rocks, and Commander Hui taken down early with a headshot cross map from the Cassidy, from Smurf. Deadeye could be thrown off the map. Great play from Madara. Might just give USF Green exactly what they need, but the manual can't come through from Gabe, and Gnome's gonna catch them with the knife. And now Madara has to pull out the hero plays on the Winston, has an opportunity point, flips over to USF Green. They need this pick onto Gnome. They can't let the Junker Queen escape, but it's going to be Slick coming behind, taking out Tiger Lily. And now USF Green, their hopes buckling in on them, needing another hero play. No ults to be seen for this team. Smurf gonna take out their Winston. Smurf taken two. And it's the duo, Smurf and Gnome, taken unknown origin over the threshold. Their origins may be unknown, but this first match, they're making sure that you are gonna know their names.
Yeah, again, they just controlled the tempo there. Like, you even saw some creative plays, to say the least, like using High Noon right by an edge against a Primalink Winston and a Lucio. But again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, as you saw Gnome there with that sick knife onto the translocating Sombra, just confirm that kill. We're just going through. Smurf with the opening pick onto Commander Huey. Like, it's just, Unknown Origin was just the better team all around. As you saw, as they controlled, frankly, almost every facet of that match towards the end.
They sure did, and I think there's nothing else to do there. Like, this was dominant, no matter how you look at it. Unknown Origin took incredible fight after incredible fight, were incredibly coordinated as a team. They made USF Green look, well, they made them look inexperienced, which we know they're not. We know that this core has been together for 3 years, and maybe a rotating college core where you have some seniors graduate, you have some freshmen or junior or sophomores come in, but you have to wonder, Unknown Origin have made their mark already. That is a dominant first match to have. And as we move deeper into this tournament, as we go through the weeks, you have to wonder, are these teams that make a great impression in the first week, are they going to be able to stick with it? Are they going to be able to hang with the upper crust that's going to slowly form throughout today as the division keeps playing their games and we get our standings to start sorting through? Unknown Origin, an early candidate for first place, taking a 3-0 victory over USF Green. You have to wonder what the other teams are learning.
And what they're learning is you just cannot let Unknown Origin dictate how the tempo is going to, frankly, be that fast. Is you have to find a way to slow them down, and that is why I'm not the biggest fan of that Sombra pick, as Sombra works really well, at least with current Sombra, with high-tempo gameplay. You don't want to be feeding right into another team's strengths like that, unless it is also yours. You saw it's not really USF Greens, as they prefer the more straightforward frankly, I feel like more honest approach of just running it down main. And if you're going to want to
That's
do that, why not play DPS more like that Mei or Reaper? Lean more into the brawly playstyle instead of the quicker rush that Unknown Origin preferred.
Yeah, well, that's going to be it from us. It's going to be Unknown Origin taking it 3-0 over USF Green, and it might just be it for us on the stream as well. I don't think we had any reschedules tonight. Yeah, no reschedules tonight, so it's a one and done stream for us, but we've got so much more Overwatch coming at you this weekend, as well as for the next few weekends, as the Rainbow Open is back, baby. So you don't want to miss a moment of it. Make sure you hit that follow button, and you're here tomorrow night, same time, same place, same channel, as we go forward with some new divisions. Well, new in the sense that they have not yet played, but the same old divisions, you know, from your old Rainbow Opens. So get excited because Morris is back, the Rainbow Open is back, and we are back. But that's it for us today for the first day of the Rainbow Open. Thank you to you, Clementine, for coming along on this wild ride with me. Thank you to our wonderful producer, Chib, as well as Echo and Ark on the production crew. You guys have been great. Thank you all for tuning in. And we will see you tomorrow for more action from the Rainbow Open. Have a nice night, everyone.